The internet is the first domino that fell. The internet allowed us to distribute knowledge, the spoken word, the way that we document who we actually are as human beings. Technology allowed us to translate this information on the fly. We no longer are a cluster of individuals all around the planet. We are a global, conscious collective. The more density we build within the internet itself, the more interconnected we actually will become. This is density. This is how you connect everything and ultimately becomes nothing because we are all one and the same. Bitcoin completes this ring system of sovereignty. Bitcoin does this for money. Bitcoin is the internet of how we establish and share and communicate value in one world currency.
In order to understand economic enslavement, I think it's really important for people to realize the two conditions that I would say make the modern human condition. So the first of which is the spoken word, right? And we've got 6,500 different variants of the spoken word spoken on this planet, all of these different tongues, these different frequencies, right? And the second would be money. Okay? And we've got 180 different government variants of fiat currencies. And over history, there's been in excess of 4,000 different variants of government money with an average lifespan of 27 years. But going back to, firstly, the spoken word and why that's an important condition to being a modern human being, because in a pre-internet world, the way that we document the spoken word is typically pen, piece of paper, right? And we write books, religion, history, mathematics, science. This is how we document our existence, okay? And when you have different variants of knowledge and our collective existence being documented in thousands of different mother tongues, it makes it very easy for wisdom, knowledge to be clustered, right? To be locked away, to be inaccessible to your average human being. And we see this in the sense of when it gets to a peak, an elite peak, it creates cults, secret societies, your Masons, your Templars, your Bilderberg groups, your Skull and Bones groups, your Boule. It creates all of these different, say, concentric systems where the higher you go up, the closer you are to the density of the body of the data, the more limited the access is, right? So that in itself is what has fueled, I guess, a separation in your everyday individual and those who feel empowered and who feel elite. Because to be illuminated is to be one of light. And we have a global world structure which forces the world into the shadows, into the darkness, so they can feel illuminated above everybody else, right? And we see this symbolism being played out, it's even on a dollar bill, right? With the pyramid and the illumination sign above the pyramid.
If Bilderberg meetings are just talking shops, why do the most important and powerful figures from around the world, including George Osborne, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, bother to attend? And what other summit of world leaders in politics, finance and business would go completely unreported in the mainstream media, such as the BBC? It is impossible not to reach the conclusion that the non-reporting of these events is anything other than a conspiracy between the organisers and the media. It merely confirms the belief of many that the hidden agenda and purpose of the Bilderberg Group is to bring about undemocratic world government. It's a disgrace that the European Commission is colluding in that.
Now, with the invention of the internet, it broke down many of these barriers. Spoken word, we have now on-the-fly translation tools that allows me to read scripture that was in French, allows me to read Japanese philosophers, Chinese philosophers. Now I've got a world view sitting at home in my living room. And that has been an incredible liberator of man on the planet. And the internet has been really and truly the first tool of humanity to help start breaking us through the shackles. And we're seeing the chinks in the armor play out today It's been building. We had all of these platforms of freedom and information, your Facebooks, your Googles, your Twitters, your Instagrams, your WhatsApps, which has allowed people around the world to speak and communicate freely. And for the most part, we have utilized and wielded these platforms against the very operators who have tried to contrive and control information on the planet. This has led to, over the last few years, a plethora of political movements. We've had the Yellow Vest protests, we've had the Hong Kong protests, we've had the Brexit protests, we've got everything that's going on right now in the United States of America, where you've got literally lawless states. Just look at Portland. We are witnessing the effects of knowledge being more freely distributed around the world, where the orchestrators of society, and this is actually arguable, they're not wielding their power as ubiquitously as they once were, easily controlling it from the shadows as they once were.